Okay, it's JBSC again, John Black. You heard how it doesn't correlate. Nothing correlates. They're lying. They just pull out little pieces of data and they try to ignore everything else that's surrounding it that says it's counterintuitive to what they're saying. Okay, and I want to look. This is the Antarctic, this big square here, and this is the Antarctic. Okay, and I didn't look up anything on percentages or whatever. I'm just eyeballing stuff and whatever. Because it doesn't matter exactly what the percentages are. But let's say Antarctic is half the ice and Antarctica is half of the ice on the polar caps, right? Okay, let's just say, I don't know what it is, but let's just say. When the green people, they show the Arctic, right? They always take a picture of it in the winter time, or in the summertime, okay? Because in the summertime, you only have about a quarter of the ice there. 3/4 of it melts, okay? And if it didn't melt, the polar bears and a bunch of species would die because during that time, you can actually get fish, like their food is inside the ocean. If it's totally, over with ice, how are they going to get to their food? You know what I mean? So you have to have it melt. I mean, if it doesn't melt, you're going to have some dead animals, man. But anyways, 75%, I'm just guessing, I don't know. Maybe it's 80%, maybe it's 65%, maybe it's 70%. But let's just say it's 75%, okay, that melts, okay? Because you got 6 months of daytime, 6 months of winter, right? So you got, during the summertime, you only have one quarter of the ice. In the wintertime, all of it is there. It's all caked over or whatever. But this is my question, because I've said about the floods. They're always talking about floods, and we're going to be inundated with all this water, all this whatever. Can I ask you this, okay? How does 75% of one of the polar ice caps, 75% of it melts every year and then refreezes, then melts again and refreezes, melts again and refreezes? How come we every summer, right? Or every summer, all the countries in the world should be complaining. There should be news on the news saying we've been inundated with all this water. Because if all of this, if 100% of this melts, which is what we would like to happen, okay? And they're saying that the whole countries are going to, you'll have like hundreds of miles missing from countries because the water will just inundate the entire countries and everyone will drown. Well, if that's true, then this is almost half of all the ice. How come we every year we melt half of the ice of both of the polar caps, and nobody bats an eye? Nobody even says, "Oh, it went up an inch." You know what I mean? No, nobody bats an eye. You know why? Because it doesn't inundate like that, like they're saying. That doesn't make any sense. How would it inundate when every year we pretty much the entire Arctic sheet of ice melts? 75% of it. And they're worried that the next 25% is going to every year this happens. This polar ice cap, 75% of it melts, and nobody even notices it. Nobody realizes it. Do you see any news? I don't understand. Do you see any? How do you know this and be afraid that if this last quarter melts? Oh, that's just going to be it only makes a difference of 1 inch. It inundates maybe a couple feet in the summer, and then it freezes up, and so the water goes back a couple feet. But that's only like an inch in height. You know what I mean? It might be that inch, though, because of the slope of the Earth, you might inundate a couple feet. Oh, whoop-de-doo. And you know why they don't put it on the news? Because it's not newsworthy that the thing goes up an inch or two, and it inundates, 1 or 2, 3 feet, and then it goes back each year. That's not newsworthy, see? And so if you melt this other quarter, what do you think's going to happen? Nothing. Nothing. If you didn't notice the first 3 quarters, how are you going to notice the last quarter? I mean, you literally didn't notice it. No one has said anything. This has been going on for how many years now? 100 years or whatever, where we're finally getting or 300 years where we were getting the ice caps to melt a little bit. Every year, though, this happens. You never hear, oh, well, in Italy, they had to move 100,000 people move, inland more because 3/4 of the Arctic just melted, man. So they had to move. Does that happen every year? Does that happen every year? England it doesn't even, because it's just an island. England doesn't. In the summertime, it must just be flooded 3/4. England must not even exist in the summertime. I don't know how. I thought they existed all year round, but I guess according to the climate people, when this 3/4 melts down, England just disappears. Is that what happens? Does England disappear when 3/4 of the fucking Arctic melts? Is that what happens? Every year it's on the news. Yeah. I don't understand how I have to. I'm the idiot. Like, you would think that these videos would just fall off the fucking shelf or whatever. People just want to hear this shit. And I know, I know there's the people that are my subscribers from the last channel, and they're going to be cold or whatever. But I'm telling you, most people just still won't believe it. They will still be afraid of the world flooding, even though the Arctic already melts every year, and we don't even know. We don't even complain. Never once have I heard of a beach having to close down because it was inundated with water because the Arctic, this summer, the Arctic, it all melted, so this beach is closed, and this beach is closed, and that beach. No beach is closed! Gee, I wonder why, because the water only changes about 3 feet in and only goes up about an inch or something. Whoop-de-doo. The last thing, which I said this a couple times, this is our CO2 for the last 160 million years, right? 160 million years. It's going straight down. And right to here, where we're at, plants die at 200 parts per million, and you get crappy yields. But if you go down to 150 parts per million, and we're at 400, your plants, all of them will die, okay? They will suffocate, and they will die. Because a plant wants to be at 1,200 parts per million, so you should actually have the atmosphere be maybe 1,400, 1,500 parts per million. So it's slightly above. So you want it to be in between these two lines here, and they're not. We're way down here. Let me ask you this, okay? Plants want to be at 400. You want to be at 1,200, they're 400. It's 3 times difference, okay? Now, what if you needed 3x amount of oxygen? And I said, you know what? I'm going to take your oxygen level down in that room from 3x down to 1x. I'm going to take 2/3 of the oxygen away and give you 1/3 the oxygen. Would you be happy? Would you think that was a good thing? Because apparently you think it's good for the plants to only give them 1/3 of the carbon dioxide that he actually wants. Like, what the? I just don't understand. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. All right. Last thing, anyway. Polar cap in the summers should flood. Okay. Another thing is climate change is like evolution or geological changes, okay? So if I was in a zoo and I'm by the monkeys or the whatever, or gorillas or whatever, and I'm there and I'm like, oh no, the monkeys, they're going to evolve. You don't understand. Within the next couple years, they're going to be a new species, and they're going to kill us. Oh no, they're going to kill us. We're all going to die. Everyone would be like, this guy's an idiot, right? Now, the same way with mountains, okay? How are mountains formed? You got 2 tectonic plates that land masses are on and they go back and forth. You know what I mean? And if one of those land masses goes underneath, it'll force the other one up, and you'll start making a mountain. Okay, just like this. You have one plate going under and one plate going pushed up, and that's how you make mountains. Now this takes like millions of years. You know what I mean? Now what would you do if you see a guy and he's cowering? Oh no! And he's by an anthill. Okay, but it's going to make a mountain. We know it. Within a couple 100 million years, it's going to make a mountain. And he's sitting there saying, "Oh no, please, no, help me! We have to save ourselves from this mountain. All the people that have houses here and farms and businesses, they're all going to die, and we need to move their houses out of the way, man. This mountain is coming. Oh no! Oh no! Every motherfucking person on this planet would be like, that is a crazy, dumb fuck asshole. I would never believe anything he said. But when it comes to climate change, you cannot sit there and watch evolution. You cannot sit there and watch geological changes like mountains or like the Grand Canyon. You can't sit there and watch it being made, okay? We're talking about long periods of time. The same way with the climate change. They're cowering on the ground saying, no, save me from climate change. Really? Climate change isn't something that happens over 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, okay? That's totally crazy, okay? So, I want everyone to do me a favor, okay? You may not have kids. You might have nephews and whatever's nieces. Might be a neighbor's kid or something, or whatever, a friend that you have and they have kids. I want you to set them down, okay? Just do this little tiny experiment. I want you to set them down on a chair. I want you to say, now look, it's at room temperature, around 68 degrees, 70 degrees. That's the temperature that people like the best, okay? That's what they call it, room temperature, because that's what you want your room to be at, to be comfortable. Once you get higher than that or lower than that, you start to get uncomfortable. And if it gets too lower or higher to that 68 degrees, you will die, okay? The further away you get from this 68 to 70 degrees, you will die. And then you say to him and you ask him or her, what temperature, if you could pick a temperature of the earth and you can have a magic wand and you can make it be that temperature, what temperature would you pick for the, and tell them that a refrigerator is usually 40 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? But it can't go up to 45 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? Say, and the room temperature is at 68. Where do you want the average temperature of the earth to be? I swear to God, please do that, especially if you don't believe me, and see what that little child tells you. I bet you $1 million freaking dollars he does not say, well, our refrigerator can be up to 45 degrees, so I just want to be slightly above that. A little above a freezer, a little bit above a refrigerator. No, the little kid is not going to say that. The little kid is going to say, well, room temperature, obviously I want the earth to be room temperature, you know? And let me ask you this, okay? Oh, geez, I'm running out of time. So I guess I'm going to just shut this off. I'll have one more video, just whatever, which probably won't even be a full video about this. I should wrap this up in the next 5 minutes on the next video.